holiday season. A good Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and glad to get everybody back and ready to be moving forward. Had a lot of things still happening in the city as we went forward. I was sorry many of you didn't get a chance to be here for UWF and the trophy presentation. Jeremy was our one member of the media that was here last time, but that was a lot of fun to have the trophy here. Just to follow back up on that, I know that many people have been asking about the city doing something for a parade. I mean, I was in discussions with Martha Saunders, president of UWF, on her plane trip back from the thing, talking about this and seeing what we could do. UWF would like to do something that is already happening, that is an already existing parade. That really gave us two choices: the MLK parade coming up and the Mardi Gras parade. MLK, they were afraid, was on a weekend that some players may want to take off and go home, and what some people may have or be out of town. So they've been working with Danny Zimmern to be in the parade for Mardi Gras. And I think if you were there this past weekend, it was a great night on Saturday night. Sort of the blessing of the floats to begin the Mardi Gras season. And I know Coach Pete Shinnick was there. I did see President Martha Saunders there as well. And we talked about that, and they're going to be participating in that Mardi Gras parade. So that is a good thing. Also, sort of a loose end tying up from prior to the holiday breaks. There has been a lot of discussion about also having a chance for the after the shooting that was on the Navy base. There was a great private ceremony, or there was a ceremony confined to just those who were on base or military personnel. There's been a lot of discussion about doing something about that within the city. We've been talking to the Veterans Park Association. They are, and I think I did talk to the Navy before we went into the break, and they are happy to do a service in working with the Veterans Parks. I think we're still working on that and looking at something along those lines. That is still in discussion. I don't have any date or any other details at this particular time, just to know that there is some discussion that is still going on about doing something along those two items. Let's get into some of the things that are, as we move into 2020. As somebody said, this is the year of perfect vision, so we're gonna try to execute on that perfect vision. None of y'all laughed at my 2020 joke, but all right. So here we go with sanitation pickup changes. They started today, and so we are in the middle of this. Sanitation pickup beginning today. Don't forget that starting today, the City of Pensacola Sanitation Service will be making some changes to streamline our process operations. Garbage, recycling, and yard waste, all three will now be picked up on the same day as what was your normal garbage day. So if you have a black trash can, which means you also have a brown recycling can, then the day that your black can went out onto the street is the day that you put your black and brown can out, and your yard waste will all be picked up on the same day. In other words, if it was a Monday that your black can went out, it's Monday. If it's Tuesday, it's Tuesday. If it's Thursday, which is my day, it's going to be Thursday. However, if you were on a Friday, the only change is that will go to a Wednesday. Friday garbage pickups will go to a Wednesday. So if you're out there this week and you have a Friday pickup for your black can, please remember Wednesday. I know that's the one that we're more worried about missing people. And John assures me we're going to be out there and we're going to get the garbage picked up and we're going to do whatever. But again, if you have a normal Friday pickup, it's going to move to Wednesday. And that's what we're asking to do. So I didn't see many brown cans today, John. Where I live, we're normally a recycling day, so I guess most people were listening. They didn't put the brown cans out, so we're going to get them out on Thursday and get them all picked up. I also want to say, while John's here, thank you so much for the stuff that was done out there on Summit. I know we're going to be picking those back up, and I know there's a lot of garbage and debris, and I got a lot of compliments from people over the holiday season that really appreciated having it there so that their garbage cans didn't get overflown and a number of other things. So again, debris, especially some of that recyclable debris from packaging and everything else, sort of comes in over the holidays, and I really appreciate sanitation work that was something the city did to try to help, and I got a lot of positive comments out there. So John, thank you for that. I do want to emphasize again that this is for City of Pensacola customers only. Again, you have a black trash can and a brown recycle can. That's who you are. If you have a green can, this is ECUA, and you've already been doing this, and there are no changes to you, but if you're in the city of Pensacola and you have a black garbage can, you're going to have a change in your sanitation. There is some good news I want to pass along, although I'm always cautiously optimistic in saying things about fire, not because we have a great fire team that is going to be there to handle if there is anything, but just want to knock on wood a little bit that we don't have any problems. I will say the Pensacola Fire Department ended its annual Keep the Wreath Green fire safety. If you saw those wreaths, we had one here, we had one I know by my house, there were some all over. As long as they stayed green, that's a good thing. The good thing this year in the city, we only had one fire. So there's only one red bulb. That's a really good year, and that's the vigilance of what they do. But again, we can't predict when fires happen. Our fire service is there to make sure if they happen that we're there. I can assure you that they do an incredible job doing that. There was only one red bulb. The annual campaign is a partnership with the Escambia County Fire Rescue, and the goal is reducing the number of fires in December. In 2018, there were 2 red bulbs within the city, and in 2017, there were 7 red bulbs within the city. So I think at least bringing the awareness to it and some of the things that we're doing, we're making a trend go down, and that's a good thing. I also wanted to say how much I appreciate all of the individuals of the city of Pensacola who worked during the holidays, that actually worked on a holiday, whether it was Christmas or New Year's. I know that myself and Councilman Moore had a chance to go by and visit the fire department. I went and visited 2 fire stations that were nearby me. I ran into Councilman Moore and his kids, or at least his sons, were with him, and they had a good time. They allowed them to turn on the hose. They managed to soak my car, and I didn't realize how much water was coming out of there. You still can't see when you're with your windshield wipers on, but they had a lot of fun. Those people, those firefighters and those police officers are taking time away from their family to be there, and I certainly appreciate that and the work that they do. And not just those, we had people in Public Works, a number of other places that were out there making sure that things stayed functional even on those holidays. So I really appreciate all the work that went out there from those individuals. I want to thank them. Lee Street Stormwater Improvement Project begins this week, or next week. We will begin construction of the Lee Street Stormwater Improvement Project on Monday, January 13th, providing stormwater damage improvements, stormwater drainage improvements to mitigate flooding issues in the area. The project is funded by FEMA through a hazard mitigation grant, which provided funding due to the repetitive flood issues adjacent to North F Street and West Lee Street. So again, on West Lee, that project will be coming out soon, and we will be getting started next week. Then Christmas tree disposal, coming back to John, another one of our favorites. The City of Pensacola is offering several Christmas tree disposal collection sites. If you haven't put your stuff up, we're doing it now through January 31st. City sanitation customers can leave their tree curbside to also be picked up on their normal yard day waste pickup, which is now your garbage day, so you can put it out there. Please remove all decorations before dropping your tree or leaving it at the curb. Drop sites are as follows: Summit Boulevard next to Old Fire Station 3, so that's again right there next. And I saw several people taking advantage of that. That's next to where we had the recycling area right there. So the Old Fire Station on Summit, right there next to it. East Maxwell Street underneath the I-110, and Bill Gregory Park, near the back of the park, dead end of W Street and Navy Boulevard. So again, you have right there off on W Street, right there. It kind of is a low area, so I guess in the back of the, you have the park, and we have the beautiful water retention area. So again, in the back, I assume that's where we're collecting things. It's an area that hadn't been improved back there. So again, please, those are 3 sites you can take your tree to, or you can certainly leave it for your regular garbage day on the curb between now and the 31st of January. So we hope you will take advantage of getting that out as well. We have the 2020 Mayor's Neighborhood Cleanup Schedule. The schedule of this year's Neighborhood Cleanups is now available online at cityofpensacola.com, and residents will soon receive a postcard in the mail during their cleanup month. The first cleanup will be Saturday, January 25th in the downtown area, and cleanups will be once a month through October. Through Neighborhood Cleanup Program, residents in the cleanup areas are eligible to leave eligible items at the curb on the cleanup day to be picked up by the City of Pensacola Sanitation Services. The cleanup includes bulk items such as household appliances, furniture, and mattresses bicycles and toys, tires, and old paint. So again, we would rather you dispose of these on your day that you have rather than putting those in trash that gets in the landfill. We really need to keep all of those things that we just listed out of the landfill, and that's why we do at least once a year we come to your neighborhood to do that, and we hope you'll take advantage of that service. And all you got to do is place them out on the curb before that. Just look on our website and find out the time that we have for you. Also, we've talked about a couple things. The resident satisfaction survey deadline has been extended. Don't forget, the city residents have until this Friday to give feedback during the annual resident satisfaction survey. Please visit uwf.edu/HOS resident survey. That's uwf.edu/HOS resident survey to complete the online survey. So we certainly ask, if you have not filled it out, please take the time to do so. It's really very fast and should be able to easily done. Lastly, I want to introduce a new member of our staff that you, the media, will be working with. If you've not met Kimmy Hay, she's here. She's working with Amber in our PIO area. Casey. She is the new Amber. That's what I meant to say. In my thing, I was getting my head mixed up. She's working with Casey, and she is the new Amber.
The new Allie.
So, yeah.
The new Allie.
Yeah, the new Allie. Okay. All right. I did go way off there on that one. The new Allie. I'm sorry. And so again, it's when it's not on your sheet. Sometimes I get things, but I did at least want to introduce Kimmy, and that was the name I was most trying to get right. So, anyways, sometimes we mix those ones up. All right, that's really all I had today. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Yes.
On sanitation.
Yes.
This Friday would be the first time that old Friday customers might mess up. Is there going to be a plan to send out trucks anyway with notes, anything like that?
John, what's our plan for Friday?
We have a contingency plan in place just in case we have a few stragglers out there that forget to put their can out there. We certainly take care of. We have staff that will be available on Friday to take care of those misses.
So we realize this is going to take us a couple of weeks to get comfortable with everything and get used to it. So our goal is certainly to have everybody pick it up, but certainly if we get notified of certain cases inside those Friday areas, we'll find a way to make sure we get things collected. Jim?
Is there any new information about the cyber attack?
I don't know anything more than where we ended things off. And I don't remember. I think that Monday that was our last Monday here. We sort of talked about what we were going to do moving forward. We were going to go ahead and move forward with getting. We thought it was the prudent thing to do. While we've seen nothing that has been, internally problematic or personal in nature for our employees, pensioners, customers, or people that we're dealing with in housing. At the same time, we just thought it was the right thing to do to protect people. Keith, did you want to say anything?
I was going to say, Casey has an update on
Okay.
some progress with our contract.
Casey, if you want.
Yeah, I can just come up.
Sorry, or I can just do that, whatever's easier. Yeah, so the letters that we had mentioned should be going out by the end of the week. So if you're one of those active customers or pensioners, employees, you should be getting a letter in the mail, later this month. It's just under 57,000 letters. I think initially we had said around 60,000. And they will be offered that LifeLock protective services for 1 year. And then other cyber issues, let's see. Deloitte and Touche should be wrapping up sometime this week and delivering a final report to us. And then we are looking into basically when we send out these letters, we have to have contact information for people. So just to ensure that our phone lines are not overloaded, we may be contracting some of that with LifeLock to alleviate some of that, but it's still kind of in the works, and we're not sure yet. So think that's kind of where we are.
Okay. I want to be clear about something. I know, I think it was, Andrew, it was you, we talked about there was some confusion as to what was offered, certainly for free and things that we had to do and contract some services. We from the very beginning, we were in connection with, we talked to the FBI, we did talk with DHS about our ongoing system and making sure that we get up and get that taken care of. We did meet with UWF and sit down with them, and they were very helpful in coming to us. One of the things they told us to do is you need to have your system audited to know where your problems are and what's going on. The first thing we said, well, we'd love to hire you guys to do that, and they said, we don't do that. We don't compete with private sector stuff. So what we've been doing with Deloitte is not simply addressing the issue of those who came in and hacked. We certainly talked with other agencies to do that. This is a little bit more in depth. It's really kind of looking at us internally and making suggestions to us. We were already in the process of looking at some of those things with technology. And so I know over the next couple of weeks, I know Keith is going to be getting together with Amy and looking at what some of the changes are that what do we do? What are the recommendations that come out of this for dealing with our technology? So again, I think this is helpful one way or the other. I want to be very clear about something. Those individuals in our IT area, all those employees that work in there, worked incredibly hard, worked around the clock to work through this. They did a great job in what they did. There are simply some things that we probably need to readdress in how we were doing some things. The backup we had was sufficient for us to be able to move forward and not have to deal with the ransom, pay the ransom, any of the things we did. So I think in a lot of the way that they acted and the things that they did made it so that we had the information. We still had to go through that week of cleaning everything. It was a headache. It was certainly a headache for you, all of our citizens, to deal with that. But again, I think they did an incredible amount of work that went on for that week, couple of weeks right afterwards, and they've continued to work on that. And we hope that when Deloitte gets here and they've showed us areas where we were exposed, what we need to do better, and how we can change, we're going to make those changes and move forward.
So everything's pretty much back up to normal now?
Absolutely. We've been through the Christmas 2 weeks. We've been back up and running everywhere.
You said you had sufficient backup to get back up and running, but has there been any indication from the people responsible for this that they could do things like release information?
That's the threat of what they've said to us, which is why we ended up buying the LifeLock. There was some information released. You probably saw that they had stuff that was released, although what was released could have been obtained in any number of ways and was not exactly critically sensitive. But there's other information that we know that we lost. We can't confirm what that information was, so we thought it was prudent and the right thing to do to protect those individuals that we felt like were most exposed.
That doesn't protect them retroactively, though. Like, is there a concern that information already obtained would be released? Is there anything to address?
I mean, again, all those things are certainly there. That's why we're going to be putting forward the LifeLock. I mean, it's the same thing that happened. Target had theirs. A number of different institutions have had theirs hacked in. They do the same thing at this particular time. I want to be clear from the information that was provided to us that it was not the definitive answer that we had to do this, take this action. But I believe the city chose to take this action. Both our leadership team and myself. That was an action that I felt like it cost money, but to me it was the right thing to do to protect our citizens, our customers, and that's the way we're going to do it.
Jeremy, I'm not sure about what you mean by retroactive, but it does cover this event. So back to the beginning of this event.
It does?
Yeah.
Okay. Will there be any kind of preliminary report before y'all get the final report from the consultant?
Yeah, I mean, once we get the final report, we'll be ready to implement. We'll know a little bit better, this is all about making our technology area better. I mean, certainly there were a number of things we had in place were there. We you're always curious about where you stand. You feel like you could be a little bit better, a little bit stronger, and this is one of those cases where now we feel like we'll be able to move ourselves to what we need to do. The problem is that individuals who do this are always tend to be one step going forward, and I think it's just vigilance on us and our IT department to continue to try to stay at the cutting edge and make sure that we're caught up in doing that always. So again, these are things we will be working on, and we're going to take the recommendations that come out of this. And there were some other we were already looking at changes in IT. We had an internal thing just looking at some of the how do we position it, where do we put, how do we do, and that was also coming due at the same time. So both of these things together will allow us to enable to figure out what we're going to do with our IT resources. And yes, Ryan is our new risk manager is out there searching all over. We got everybody coming to us for insurance for cyber, so we are doing that as well. So a number of things that we're working on, and we knew we needed the right new person in there, and I can't say enough. He's been a great addition for us. He's hit the ground running and is dealing with a lot of things that we were looking at that we perhaps. We were not at the cutting edge before in looking at what we were at the city. He's working with us to get us up to speed and be certainly as modern and where we are and what other communities are. So we're excited about that.
Have you worked with or talked with Gulf Breeze at all? They're very active in their internal preventative countermeasures, actively probing, looking for human weakness. They even have a kind of most wanted list, when people fail. So
we sit down with Cherry and Sam. We hadn't in a couple of months, so we'll probably Keith and I will, now that Keith's our new administrator over here, so we'll probably sit down with them again soon and we'll talk with them. I was not aware of anything that they were doing, but we were doing some of that stuff. I mean, we would send out some of those dummy things and see if people had hit them, because I know I answered one of those one time and I had to redo my test. But I've learned it was not me that put this one in. So, but we do some of that as well. So we were certainly doing those kind of things before. It's just it's frustrating because you can be good in a lot of areas and you have a small weakness and they just get in, and it's a frustrating. But that's the world we're living in today. And I can't tell you how many people came up to me over the probably over the last 30 days, certainly over the holiday period, and told me about businesses, local businesses that this had happened to, and things. So it's definitely out there. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate many of our citizens have to experience this at a small business level, because sometimes you don't have the resources to do anything more than pay the ransom. So it is an unfortunate circumstance that is out there. Well, thank you all very much for being here today. And again, we've got a lot of great things going to happen in 2020, and today we're looking for those Argos. So I told Martha, you're always here usually. You just weren't here that day. We had the UWF here. It was a great time, and we're going to have a lot of great things going forward in 2020. Thank you all for being here.